Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. Time for us to take a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Nice to have you along. Of course, big thanks to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. We're going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score a little bit later during the course of the show. Of course, it's the Score Immune Booster. All right, this one I've got in my hand is the Pine Ginger, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Folks, we've got a lot to talk about. There's so much happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Just when you thought that things get quiet, well, as we said before, Western Province Club Rugby never goes quiet. Everybody stays busy. In studio with me, Alastair. Nice to have you back, Mania.
Yes, nice to be back. It's been a while.
And Nazeem Adams, Western Province Rugby. Nazeem, nice to have you here, Mania.
Yeah, thanks, JP. It's nice to be back. It's been a while, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, I haven't seen you guys for a while. Alastair, I think you've had your hands full elsewhere in the last month or so. Have you guys, from a CPUT point of view, are you taking a break now, or what's the story?
We took a short break.
Short break?
2 weeks. Started our off-season of our campaign for the Varsity Shield.
Already?
Already, yeah.
So the Varsity Shield planning and prep is...
It's rolling out at the moment.
Is rolling out.
It's rolling, so yeah, there's no rest there.
Yeah, yeah. And Nazeem, on your side, I mean, you guys haven't stopped at all. You've been chock-a-block with the education for, well, the whole year.
Yeah, JP, really happy with coaching and education. We've been busy the whole year. There's still a couple of courses left for this year. We have one on coming Friday, a level 1. And on the 25th of October, we have level 1 course 7s as well. Yeah,
we're going to still talk a lot about the different types of education you guys do. The World Rugby level 1s, level 2. You do level 3? World Rugby level 3. Is that for like World Cup winning coaches?
No, it's not for World Cup winning coaches, but we do have, but it's a rugby that do that.
So that's the highest level of the highest?
The highest level here by us, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Do you get a level 4?
Well, overseas you do have.
Yeah, yeah. Alastair, have you got level 4?
No.
Okay. How high does the typical... All right, guys, we're going to talk about coaching and education. All of that stuff's still coming up. Looking forward to it. So, of course, the last couple of weeks has seen quite a lot of action after the regional finals and promotion, relegation games, etc. So we're going to take you back to not this past weekend, but the weekend before. It was the PAL knockout championships, and this was, of course, after the first and second round of matches in the PAL region, and it all came down to the wire again, and they were back in the finals, PAL Rangers and Lower PAL. And we've got a couple of highlights for you. Let's take a look and then we'll talk about it. Right, there we go. Final result, of course, well, Paul Rangers 13, Lower Paul 11. All right, so let's ask you, Amir, what do you make of the game?
First thing, it looked like it was a bit rainy there.
Yeah.
But one thing of Paul teams, they love their running rugby, and you could see that in the wet weather as well. You know, trying to get the ball to the edge, you know, playing an expensive game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could see Paul Rangers having a bit of an upper hand on Lower Paul.
So, I mean, Nazeem, you know these guys. It hasn't been the last 2 years, if I look at it, and we're going to take a look at the derby as well with Albions and Paul Rangers, folks. And just, by the way, the footage that you saw there is courtesy of the village guy in Paul, who is well known in the Paul region for streaming and supporting sport in general in the Paul space. So, Miles Minnar, thanks for the footage. So, folks, we do get videos and footage in from our club rugby community. But going back to this, Nazeem, what we have seen in the last 2 or 3 years is that even though we saw Paul Rangers and Blues in the finals here, it hasn't been such an easy run as it used to be in the past. We saw Young Gardens getting better, Young Standards getting better, Riverstones. The league has been quite a challenge.
Yeah, JP, that's one thing. I mean, the lower down, it's competitive. It's not easy to get out of the leagues as well. If I just watch that game, like Alastair said, I mean, their DNA is to spin the ball and attack the wide spaces. But you also need to be adaptable. I mean, a little bit rain is wet, so you also need to focus on your kicking strategy and your exit strategy. So that is maybe one thing that they also need to take into consideration.
Alastair, but yeah, your thoughts on the region itself. I mean, and they play an interesting format because in the Paarl region, it's different to the other regions, is you play home and away.
Yeah.
So that also adds a whole exciting flavor.
Yeah, you get a second chance.
Yeah.
You know, so you know what the team brought in the first round, second round, you can prepare better. But we also have to, if we look back, like we just 2 years after COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody's back at full norm. Numbers are up at clubs. You know, coaches are evolving over time now. You know, so the competition, it's going to become more competitive.
Yeah,
There's more people out there.
What about the fact that in the build-up, a lot of these clubs actually play at the same venue? I mean, the whole Paarl region is, there's almost no, you know, even though I said there's home and away.
I think that makes it more exciting, JP, because you can't hide anything.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing next to one another, you know, on the fields next to one another.
Yeah.
So you're seeing what is going on, you're training next to one another. So you're seeing concepts of the different teams, you know, all the time. You know, so I would find it exciting, to be honest with you.
But Nazeem, that also adds to the, like Alastair said, it sort of adds to the excitement of, call it Saturday rugby. You know, you know where to go. You can get dressed. You know you're going down to Dal Josephat for the day.
Yeah.
It's Saturday entertainment. Everything is compressed. Everything's in one venue. You know how far to travel. You know how to take your skottel with or whatever, if you're going to do that, if you're allowed to do that. But it's all about entertainment on the day as well.
Yeah, and that is what rugby is about, bringing the community together.
Yeah.
And like Ali say, I mean, you can imagine the crowds coming on a Saturday and the pressure on the players.
Yeah.
And the teams know each other. It's not easy, it's tough. But I mean, that is the enjoyment with community rugby.
So there's no real home and away in Paarl. And so interesting then when Rangers and Blues play in the finals at Fora, it's a neutral ground.
Yeah, it's a neutral ground, yeah, as you said.
All right, folks, we'll talk more about that after the break. Don't forget, you can win yourself a case of Score Immune Booster. A little bit later in the course of the show, we'll explain to you how to win it. Don't go away. We'll be back in a sec.